just getting to know you over the last couple of years, I see that in everything that you do. I enjoy following you on social media and seeing some of your posts about the relationships you have with your staff and your students. So I can definitely affirm I see that passion in you, and that is what makes you great at what you do. But in thinking about that and thinking about your day-to-day life, we all go through that adversity or that trauma that we've kind of touched on here today. I don't know how vulnerable you want to be today, but is there something specific in your life that stands out to you as far as an adversity or a trauma? In my life, I talk about my brother drowning. That is the kind of foundation on which all of this is built. But for you, what stands out and how did you overcome it to lead with hope?
Yeah, and thank you for sharing that story last week about your brother. It's very important to know that about you because it makes you who you are. I'm always vulnerable. We'll talk in a little bit about, my most recent project, and it is extremely vulnerable. So I've had a lot of adversity through my life, and I would say that the constant theme is abuse. So whether it's mental, physical, mostly verbal. I've been through it all, beginning in childhood, at an early age. My father committed suicide when I was 11 months old. So my mother was left to raise me by herself, and she struggled with mental health as well, oftentimes depression. So our relationship was not always the best. So if I would say, how teenagers do sometimes, oh, I hate you, she would say that back to me. So that was how we lived. Looking back and at the moment, often after it happened, of course she loved me and she would tell me that she loved me, but it was a very rocky relationship, very dysfunctional. I think she did the very best that she could with me. And the greatest gift that she gave me was a relationship with my grandmother that could never be replaced. So at age 11, encountered my first bout with sexual abuse. So I feel for very innocent children that have to go through that because no one should have to, especially then when you share that and adults don't believe you. And then you suffer from a different kind of abuse once you expose that. So, and then most recently, I witnessed experienced domestic abuse. My son witnessed it when I was going through a divorce with my ex-husband. So, I've always been one of those, if, no one will do that to me because everyone should be afraid of me. Because of that passion, I don't allow people to walk over me. But that's not something that you can plan for and not something that you can ever anticipate. So it happened. And, I think everything happens for a reason, and it was a lesson. All of them were. So I'm here. I overcame it. And hopefully I sent the message to my children that you don't tolerate that. And you can forgive people. But oftentimes, it's very hard to forget. And if you can move on and heal and allow that person to create a new life for themselves. And that's exactly what I did for me too. So.
Yeah, that's a powerful story. And, you talk about the lessons that you learned through those challenges, through those traumas. When you reflect on those lessons, is there something specific that you would tell women in leadership that you would point to that would indicate, these are the things that you need to do to persevere? That stands out.
I mean, I've never been one that needs a lot of friends. I don't have a big family. My entire family is gone now. Besides my children, they've all passed away. But I do think specific to women in leadership, when you're in the role, it is important to find someone to network with and to build that trust and relationship with, because without it, even if it just focuses on work, I don't have to tell everyone my story and I don't want anybody to feel sorry for me. That's not the whole point. But just to be able to have that support system to get through work, and experiences that we have as women on the job. I think you've got to have other women to help build you up, and to help listen to you when you're going into a tough board meeting or something like that. There has to be someone that you can share your story with. For trauma kids and for trauma adults or anyone that's experienced hardship, trust is hard. It's still, I've done a lot of healing through my journey, but trust is still the biggest barrier that I face. But it seems that you can always find that one or two people, outside of what we've built with our Elevate network. You can always find someone with whom you're working with to build that connection and to help get you through